Hi, everybody. We are Cindy Lewis and Sandy Orlando, your two co-race directors of the Endurance Event Productions race series. And the first race is coming up next weekend on Sunday, May 4th, and that is the Georgina Spring Fling Marathon, half marathon, 10K and 5K. So today we wanted to go through your athlete guide with you. And just so you know, we did send it out by email. It's posted at the top of your event race roster page, and it's posted at the top of our Georgina Spring Fling page on our website. So if you missed something during this chat, go ahead and you can find it there, and make sure you read that thing cover to cover, because even if you think you know everything you need to know for race day, I bet there's something in there that you haven't thought of just yet. So bear with us. We're going to take you through this guide pretty much cover to cover. And, always feel free to reach out to us if you do have a question that we missed, and you can reach out at georginamarathon@gmail.com.
Right. And this year, there are a lot of new things. So we're encouraging you to read this. Even if you've joined us before, there are new things that are flagged in the athlete guide. So pay attention to that. You do want to take a look at that. So first of all, Georgina welcomes everybody back. They're very happy to have this event. And you'll see the welcome letter from the mayor, who's always comes out and with her little puppy and kicks off things on the race site. And also thank you to our sponsors. We couldn't do this without our sponsors and supporters and the people who are from the community and beyond to come out and help put this event together and make it fun for you. So make sure that you honor the sponsors and give them your business and say thank you and participate as you can. We also support 3 charities through this event. As in previous years, Sandgate Women's Shelter, the Georgina Food Pantry, and South Lake Regional Hospital, the cardiac care unit, for obvious reasons. We are collecting food donations for the food pantry, so if you want to clear out your canned goods or pick up some things, that'd be terrific. We'll be collecting those at the Briars kit pickup as well as on race day.
Yep. So one of the new things is that there is no race kit pickup on race day. So everybody needs a race kit. Your race kit includes your bib number, which you'll wear on the front of your shirt, but you cannot pick that up on race morning. That decision was made for our sakes and your sake. Race morning was pretty stressful. People would arrive at the last minute, lineups of people trying to pick up their bib number when you guys should be relaxing and getting ready to start your day. Mm-hmm. So there will be no race day kit pickup. There are 3 opportunities next week to pick up your race bib. And if you cannot make any of those 3 days, you're welcome to get a friend or a family member to pick up for you, provided you've done your waiver on race roster and they've got a permission email from you that they can show us when they come to pick up. Those 3 opportunities are Wednesday, April 30th. You can pick up in Oakville at Global Citizen at 550 Spears Road, Unit 1 in Oakville. That'll be from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Your next opportunity is Thursday, May 1st, in Toronto at Culture Athletics, which is at 972 Queen Street East. And that'll be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And your next and last opportunity is next Saturday, May 3rd, in Georgina at the Briars Resort and Spa. And the address there is 55 Hedge Road. We'll have a team there set up from noon until 6 p.m. So lots of time that day. If you're coming from out of town, you have lots of time to get in and pick up your race kit. So again, between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Saturday. And, again, don't show up on race day wanting to pick up your race number. There will not be anyone there to give you your race number. Make sure that you have picked it up ahead of time, you have it with you, and you're ready to put it on your shirt and do your run. We talked about having your waiver done, so people have some questions about that. If you registered yourself for this race, you'll have already done your waiver. The only people that may not have are people that perhaps were registered by somebody else. If you need to take a look, you can sign into your own personal race roster account. You can go to your personal profile. You can see your registrations. If you have not done your waiver, you'll have an alert in bold and color sitting right there saying action required, you need to do your waiver. So if you're not sure, go ahead and log into your race roster account and take a look at that.
There's something else about kit pickup that we need to talk about, and that's if you're picking up for a bunch of people, and 5, 7, 10, whatever, please let us know in advance, especially at those smaller kit pickup areas in Oakville and Toronto. It gives us an opportunity to put that together for you rather than holding up the line behind you. That's one important thing. Also, your T-shirt will be available at kit pickup. The people who have opted for a mail out of their bib, those have gone out. You should have received it by now, and you will pick up your T-shirt after the race or before the race if you want to at the our merchandise tent in the park on race day.
And same if you ordered a hoodie when you registered, you can pick that up at race kit pickup. But if you missed that, didn't get it, or got a mail out, you can pick up that hoodie at that Eat merchandise tent at De La Salle Park on race day as well.
Let's also talk about last minute registrations and when transfers close and
so
lines.
Registrations open until noon on next Saturday, provided that the races are not sold out, and all of them are approaching the point that they're sold out. So if you do want to register, get yourself registered. But if they're not, you can register right up until next Saturday at noon. Do so online, and again, just make sure you pick up your race kit next week. Transfers can be done until the 27th. So they need to be done before we have our first race kit pickup. So if you want to transfer your bib to somebody else, or you want to transfer into a different distance, you go on the race roster page. Near the top right, there's a link that says transfer. You can go ahead and do that on your own, but know that the deadline is April 27th.
That's like midnight on Sunday, right? And if you are doing that and you've had your bib mailed out to you, then you may end up running with the wrong color bib. That's fine. Your time will be correct and adjusted. So we'll take care of that. So if you already have your bib, if it's been mailed out or whatever, make sure you can run with that bib. It's not a problem. We won't be reassigning them. They're being automatically signed as you're registering. When you show up for race kit pickup, you should have received an email that tells you what your bib number is. And that's how you're going to know which lineup to get into or how you're going to identify yourself, because they are all pre-assigned, so that the people who are helping you out will be looking for by bib number rather than by name on the computer. That's going to make things a little bit faster for you this year. So we're moving our lineups through more quickly.
Yeah, and that email you have not gotten yet. So if you haven't gotten it, don't stress because I haven't sent it out. That's going to go out sometime early next week before we do the Oakville kit pickup.
Right. Okay. Anything else about kit pickup? Waivers?
That's it. Just make sure you do not show up on race day expecting to pick it up.
Yep. Yeah. No exceptions on that one. We don't need that anymore. Nobody needs that anymore. Okay. Let's talk about the race site, because there are an awful lot of new things about the race site that are in the athlete guide. The most important one and thing that you'll want to know about is the change in the start finish line location. So because previous years we've started in the park and had everybody come out and turn onto Lake Drive back into the park if you're doing the marathon, turning around in the park. This has changed. We've swung that starting line out onto Lake Drive. And so you're going to be starting on Lake Drive, finishing on Lake Drive, and turning on Lake Drive, coming into the park on the other side of the white building that's there. So the finish area will be a little bit different from what you may be used to. So you're just going to be, take a look at when you get there, get your bearings, and figure out where you need to be when. There's a map in the athlete guide that shows you all what's where, with all little tiny icons, and shows you how that finishing area is going to work, and explains it as well as we can. But take a look around, look for signage, look for barriers, ask someone. You'll get your bearings pretty quickly. The one thing that we're doing with this is trying to set it up so that spectators can watch from the park as you're finishing, and then wait for you to come out of the finishing area, the recovery area, to meet up with you, rather than going into the parking lot and going into the finishing chutes. We're trying to keep that clear so we can move people through, and so spectators will be waiting for you in the park.
Okay, so parking is the next important thing to talk about. There is a VIP parking lot right at De La Salle Park, and De La Salle Park is where your start-finish line is. Those VIP spots have been sold out for quite some time, so if you don't have one, You can't get one, and that's okay because there are a whole bunch of other free lots that we've got. If you did purchase a VIP pass, what you're going to do is you're going to show your receipt, or you're going to show on your the parking marshal your race roster profile where it says that you have an entry to the Georgina Spring Fling and you purchased your VIP parking pass when you enter that lot. And that lot is right off of Metro Road. So when you're getting to De La Salle Park from Metro Road, that'll be the VIP parking lot. Pull in the driveway, you'll see parking marshals, show them that receipt or show them that race roster profile that shows that you've got that VIP parking pass, and you can go ahead and park, and you're right there at the park. If you do not have a VIP parking pass, totally fine. Like I said, there are 3 parking lots not too far away that you can go and park at for free. And there'll be shuttle buses running back and forth throughout the day. We don't have a specific schedule because it's not very far, and they're really going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, multiple buses from each lot. So one of those lots is at the Briars. It's the Red Barn Theater lot. Address is 991 Lake Drive East. It's just under 2 kilometers from the race site. Know that you can't drive into that lot to drop someone off and then come back out. So don't make that part of your plan. Once you're in that lot, you're in that lot. You can't get out until everyone's parked. So that's important information to have. The next lot is at Sutton District High School, the rear parking lot. Address is 2798 Dalton Road. And you'll see a parking sign in that rear lot that says race day parking or something similar. And that's where the bus is going to pick you up. And again, it'll shuttle back and forth throughout the day, multiple buses from that lot. The third lot is right next to that at Sutton Public School. Address is 5147 Baseline Road. And from there, you're just going to walk over to the high school, which is literally a couple of buildings down, and catch the bus there and get back to the park. Those shuttle buses will run until about 2 o'clock. So until we've got that last finisher in from the marathon, and then we'll let those bus drivers go home.
Yeah. Those buses are also open to spectators, and they're free. So you can bring your whole family, get on those buses. The other thing that you need to know is about athlete drop-offs. With the VIP lot at De La Salle Park, you will not be able to drop people off coming into that lot and come out again. There's just too much congestion. The shuttle buses will be dropping off there. So please don't try to do that.
Yeah, you won't be allowed to drive into that lot if you don't have a parking pass.
No. If you would like to drop off people at the Briars so that it's easier for them and then you go park, where you catch the bus there is actually not in that parking lot, but there'll be a flag at the far end of it that takes you through sort of a little pathway into the Briars property, proper, and you'll see that's where the shuttle bus will be picking up people there. It's dark. We try to light it up. We try to direct people there. Nobody's gotten lost so far. No, and we've all made it. If you're not staying at the Briars, please don't park in their lot because they've got other guests in there, and it's pretty full. That place gets sold out. But you can drive through there to drop off athletes if you want to, and then come back and park into that lot.
Yep. So when you arrive on race day, there's a couple of things that you might want to know. There is a bag check. I know I've got a bunch of emails asking if there's a bag check. Yes, there is. You're going to show up with your bag. You're going to have your number on it and your name. And you'll see a sign for bag drops. You'll know where it is in the park. There'll be a water station. So if you showed up with your water bottle, you drank it all and you need to refill, you'll be able to do that. There's going to be a bin for our marathoners. So our marathoners have what we call a self-serve aid station where they can bring their own fuel, leave their own fuel so they don't have to carry it all the way with them. The location of that is going to be, so the marathoners are doing 2 laps of the half. So right after that first lap, there's going to be tables where that fuel ends up. And on race morning, you'll see right near, where's that going to be? That's going to be right near.
Right near where the announcer tent is and the timing tent. So it's out near the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll see bins near the announcer tent, as Sandy said, where you can go ahead and leave your fuel. Even on that fuel, it's a good idea to have your bib number, your name, something that's bright and colorful so that you can see it. because as it's named, it's self-serve. So there's not going to be someone there handing it to you. It's going to be out on a table and you're going to need to identify it, grab it, take your fuel and go. You're not going to want to, stand there and spend a bunch of time sorting through everybody's stuff. So put it in a pink bag, put a big ribbon on it, whatever you want to do to make it easy to find.
Yeah, but they'll be set out in the order of the bib numbers. So that'll help you a little bit.
For the most part, yeah.
And also make sure that you're not putting anything in there that you can't afford to lose, because we're not going to be trying to return those to you afterwards. If it's left on the table and not picked up, chances are it's going to go in the garbage unless you're kind of lucky and can remember to come back and catch it afterwards. So nothing of value in there.
Yep. And there'll be washrooms in the park. There's some washrooms that are indoor that the park has, and then there's going to be lots of portalets that we've got out there. That being said, no race ever has enough portalets to avoid lineup, so make sure you leave yourself lots of time when you get there to get yourself, go to the bathroom, take a couple of deep breaths before you get into that starting corral.
Yeah. The other thing that we should know about for bag drop is it's not in the chapel or in that building. It's outdoors. It'll be under a tent. So if it's been damp, if it's been raining, please, don't just expect that it's going to be, it's going to be on the grass, probably. The other thing is that white building that every year we tend to have people who want to go in there and hang out, and we have had bag check in there before, and that is going to be kept off limits this year, mostly because we need to make sure that we're, for security of all the things that are going on. But it's also really difficult to get people back out of that building for the race start, to hear all the announcers and all the rest of it. So that will not be open to you going in there and cuddling and huddling. Okay, just be prepared for that.
Mm-hmm. So race day schedule. It's always, just a little note. It's always important to arrive early. Don't make yourself stressed out racing to the starting line. Give yourself the time that you need at the race venue to get yourself organized, relax, and get ready to go. So the race site opens at 5:30. You don't need to be there at 5:30, unless you really want to be, but you can show up anytime after 5:30. Our first race starts at 7:30. So the half marathon will start at 7:30. Those runners will be asked to line up in the starting corral about 7:15. So you want to be there in time to casually make your way to that starting corral and get yourself ready for 7:15, 7:30 start. The 10K and 5K runners will line up at about 7:40 and they'll start at about 7:50. Okay. But you know what? Act like you're going to start at 7:30 and get there early. You just don't want to have that stress. You're going to show up, you're going to have to go to the bathroom, you're going to have a question for someone. And you don't need your heart rate to be already at 180 before you get yourself to that starting line.
Cindy, let's just clarify, when you're talking about the marathon and half marathon going out at 7:15, we're letting the marathon go out first?
The marathon's going to go out first, and then a few minutes later, the half's going to go out. Right. Then we'll get the 10 and 5s lined up and ready to go. So just keep your ears on the announcer. The announcer is going to be telling you what to do and when.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we do have pace buddies, so you'll be able to line up in the chute. Look for
that's the other important thing. So think about how fast you're going to run, and try to seed yourself in that starting corral in a place that makes sense. So, if you're going to run the marathon in 2.5 hours, you should go to the front. If you're going to run the marathon in 4.5 hours, you should go, somewhere in the second half of that group. So make sure that you're somewhere that's reasonable, that is going to allow everyone to start safely and calmly and orderly, so that everyone has a good day out there.
Yeah. The other thing about that is for the start, but also on the course, because as always, we have half of the road. It's a cottage road, it's a community road, and we need to leave one lane accessible for people who need to get out, but also for emergency access. So we're going to be running along the side of the road that goes along the lake, just to make it easy for you, out and back in the same lane. So you want to be careful about listening for people coming up behind you, not wearing earbuds, not running 3 or 4 across or in a bunch or whatever, because there may be faster people who didn't get out of that chute, or people who are coming from the half marathon start, who are looking for a really fast time coming up behind the marathoners. So please be mindful, keep yourself over to the right and let those people pass. And just be really aware of what's going on that road, coming and going, so that when you're going out, you're going to have people coming back at you as well.
Yep. So again, and in the race start finish, just keep your ears on the announcer. He's going to tell you what's going on. We're going to talk a little bit about the party site in a second, but those of you that are expecting to win an award, you should know that there's going to be a band playing in the park. So that's one of the exciting new things we have this year as well. That band is going to be playing right over near where the radio station 93.7 K Country and the band are playing. So your awards are going to take place during the band's breaks. So if we don't stick exactly to this schedule that you've got in your athlete guide, that's why. Okay, so again, listen to the announcer and you'll hear when the awards are going to take place for your event.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about aid stations before we get to the post party, because we still need to get people through this race.
Yep.
Right. So there are 5 aid stations on the course. They will all have water and Gatorade on them. There'll be no nutrition, so you're bringing your own nutrition. We'll have tables on either side of the road that you're on, so that you're not having to cross over each other to get to those aid stations. And there will be garbages there. Please don't be dropping your gel packs and any other garbage as you're running along in between. This is, again, it's a cottage community, and the community is very welcoming. But the one thing that they really don't like is when you're finding gel packs and other kinds of garbage on their property along the lake. So be really mindful of that, and make sure that you're just, you carried it out with you. You keep carrying it till you get to the next aid station and drop it off there.
Yep.
We'll have, we've got some entertainment. We've got some people out there who are going to try and keep things moving for you at those aid stations. Make sure you say thank you to the volunteers out there who've been out there a long time, waiting for you and getting set up.
Yep. And many of those, if not all of those aid stations, are manned by community groups or running groups, or a radio station. So they're going to be doing some fun stuff out there. And that's part of what we like to do, Sandy and I, is create a race that, is professionally run and fast, but also is a lot of fun for people. So take that in. Like Sandy said, thank the volunteers, have some fun while you're out there.
Yeah. But at the same time, you're going to be listening to the race marshals, because they're going to be on radio. They're going to be paying attention to what's happening with medical on the course, with car vehicles that may need to come back through, because some of the cottages, these people are locked in. They're actually not cottages now; they're homes, aren't they? But they're pretty much landlocked, some of them, or they need to get out. So they're going to be directed up to the next road that will take them off the course. But there may be the occasional car. The community has been advised of what's going on, so that they're familiar with this. Hopefully we don't have anybody who's being a jerk about it, but they'll need to be calling for an escort. So, but you may have the marshals asking you to, watch for that, or if there's an emergency situation, definitely that takes priority, not surprisingly. The other thing to be aware of is that we do have, aside from medical on the course, in a Gator, and do we have bicycles this year?
Yep.
We have rolling medics on the course, as well as AED defibrillators at each of the aid stations. And these are AED kits that anybody can use. So you don't have to be trained in CPR. You don't need to be a first responder. You can go there and it will walk you through if something needs to be done. And obviously someone's going to get there as soon as we can. But if you're the person who sees someone go down, take care of each other out there and say something. If you see it, say it and deal with it and help people out, because things happen. Aside from you can have dehydration, you can have heat, you can have heart events, you can also just pull a hamstring. If someone needs help, please help them out and let someone know. Okay, people come first, and we're doing everything we can out there to make it safe for everybody and make it easy for you to help each other out and have a safe race.
Yep. And as we kind of talked about before, going back to the marathon course in particular, the marathon course has 2 loops of the half marathon course. Like Sandy said, it's now starting on the road, which makes it a little bit less confusing and a little bit easier to kind of see the turnaround. If you're in the marathon, you're going to actually run right through the finish. turn around a cone, there'll be a marshal there directing you, and then head right back out. So you're going to run that exact same course a second time. So just, that's important to know, so you don't turn around early. You're going to run right through that finish chute, turn around, and head back out.
Yeah. And after you'd make that turn and come back out on the course, that's where you're going to find the self-serve aid station, just a little ways out from there.
Yep. If you're finishing the race, the finish chute will be easy to identify, and there'll be volunteers in there directing you to get your medal, walk around the chapel building, pick up your food, and exit you at the party site. And what's really important is that if you've got family and friends with you, meet them at the end of the finish chute in the party site. Work with us and all the other athletes to make sure that your spectators are not coming into the finish chute. We need to keep them out so that everything stays organized and safe for everyone.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then that gives us an opportunity. First of all, it gives your runner an opportunity, if you're a spectator, to recover a little bit. You can get your picture, afterwards. There's lots of opportunities there. You can see them at the finish, and then come back out. Give them a bit of breathing space to take care of those recovery things that they do need. And also it just keeps everybody safe, and our volunteers can understand who's supposed to be picking up food or water and things like that. We only have so much, and it's for the runners. There are other opportunities in the park for people to get something to eat or drink, and so that's for the runners' recovery, and also for the medical to watch, for people who might need help there.
Yep. And we call it a party site because we're having a party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like we again hinted at a little bit earlier. Because we no longer have the start finish right in the park, we're going to have a party in the park. So we have a local band called the Fat Cat Jamboree, which is going to be playing over by where the awards are taking place near the picnic shelter. They're going to be awesome. So make sure that you plan to stick around after your race, and let your family know that, while you're out there running, they can hang around and listen to the band. They're honestly going to be awesome. 93.7 is going to be set up there as well. They're going to be doing some interviews of some of you runners, doing some live broadcasts from the park. We're going to have athletic brewing. They've got non-alcoholic beer that they're going to be giving out. And I believe they're giving out to both athletes and spectators. So feel free to stop by their booth. Costco is going to be there. They're going to have some salty snacks and some stuff for you guys over there. We're going to have the Wandering Bean in there. They're going to be selling coffee and different snacks for people that are hungry in the park. And also there's going to be platinum massage. So there's going to be a couple of massage therapists there that you don't have to pay for massage, that you're welcome to go and see after the race. If you need some muscles worked out or stretched out, or you need any type of help, go and see them over at Platinum Massage. Who am I missing? Am I missing anyone that's going to be there in the park?
Kind of new this year and kind of exciting is the Cool Dip Plunge people.
Right.
So one of the local groups has a sauna and a cold plunge pool available. I guess it's a tub or something, but that's going to be over near the just after the finishing chute comes out. So you do need to pre-register, or at least get your name on a list. You need to sign a waiver. It's a $25 fee to do this, $5 of which is being donated back to the food pantry. And it's 15 minutes in the sauna. Is that right? And then
sauna, 3 minutes in the cold tub.
Yeah.
You don't have to pre-register. They prefer you pre-register, but you don't have to. You can show up after your race if you decide you want to go, and you can get on their list there. So
exactly.
There's a cost to it. I don't know if you said that. It's $25. Some of that money goes back to the food pantry. So it's for a good cause, and it's good for your body to do something like that after a race.
Yeah. Give it a try. Cool. Right, if you can handle at least the sauna part, but that means you need to bring something to change into afterwards. Bring a towel, bring the things like that, and warm clothes for afterwards. Because we don't need nudity in the park happening. It'll make some interesting photographs, but we probably don't want those.
If you do want to pre-register, I'll put the link up on social media, and I'll put it up on Race Roster, so you can go and pre-register for that if you'd like.
Great. So if you're spectating and you don't feel like staying in the park, if you want to go out on the course and watch your runner at a couple different spots, there are parks if you can access them through Metro Road, and Willow Park and North Gwillimbury Park are both terrific spots for photo ops, as well as getting up and close and right up by your runner.
Yep.
If you're staying at the Salvation Army, or I guess it's the Jackson Point Retreat at the Salvation Army grounds as well, you'd be able to go down and catch your runner, who that's probably what, 2 kilometers, not even, out from the finish line. Walking distance for sure. So lots of opportunities if you want to go and catch them out on the course.
Yep. And one thing actually that I just wanted to add that we don't have in the athlete guide, I've gotten some emails from people that are not able to find accommodations up in Georgina. There's three hotels very close to the start finish, and I know that they're all sold out at this point. People are on wait lists. There is a 4th hotel which we have listed on our race roster page and website. It's the Holiday Inn and Suites in Aurora that have an athlete rate for you guys. So if you haven't found accommodations, give a call to the Holiday Inn and Suites in Aurora, and I know they still have space available for you guys.
Yeah, and it's about 20-minute drive, so it's not too far.
Yep.
And they have the breakfast and all that, so
yep.
Worth considering for sure.
Yep.
The other thing about well, I guess we should talk about souvenirs, race souvenirs. We do have a merch tent that will have EAP merch on a flag. It'll be identifiable in the party area as well. So we will have some hoodies available that for purchase, and that's where, if you have had the mail out bib option, you'll pick up your t-shirt from that location as well. And if you'd like to, you can purchase the cello plate bib plate, I guess it is, or bib clip. So those get, what happens with those is it gets mailed out after the race once your results are verified. They get created with your name and the race name and your finishing time. And that's a nice souvenir. And it's like $18, something like that. There's a QR code in the athlete guide that you can pre-order, or you can order on site if you like.
Yep. And I think one last thing is photography. So everyone likes to see their race pictures. We will have Mike Chiliak Photography on site. He and his team will be taking pictures of you guys as you're out on the race course, and those will be free for you to download. They'll be categorized by bib number, and as soon as we get that link, which is usually about 24 hours after the race, we'll send that out to you guys. But again, you'll have those race pictures. They're free to download. They do their best to, get pictures of everybody out there. You'll have to forgive them if there's not as many as you'd like to have, but they do their best to catch all of you while you're out there running.
Yeah. So on that note, make sure that your bib is visible so you can find yourself. And we love to use some of these pictures. So if you're out there and you do your spring fling, that's probably it's partly what the race is named for, the spring fling. But we've got an awful lot of great images of people doing their jump or their leap or their fling for the camera, and those end up being used an awful lot on medals or on promotions or on T-shirts. So maybe
so if you look at our race roster page and website, the picture on there, you'll see someone doing that spring fling kick. So, if you do that on the finish line, you might end up on the T-shirt next year. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So we talked about photography, post-race party. We covered that. Run crews. If you are a run crew, you are more than welcome to come out. Bring your tent, bring your flag, bring your group out. And there's an area designated for, Tent City out in the spectator area that you can come out and, put your group out there and cheer loud and proud and support each other. The one thing that we do need to make sure everybody understands is that pacers who are not registered in the race, or if you're just running out there and you're running with your person in the race, not cool. And the reason for that is, if you're not registered, we don't have information on you, aside from the fact that if you haven't paid to join the race. But road runners are a little bit of a challenge for all races, because if something were to happen to you, we wouldn't have information for who you are. If you're using someone else's bib and something were to happen to you, someone else's family is going to get a call that there's something wrong with their person, and it's not them, it's you. So there's a whole lot of reasons that you may not kind of realize that it presents issues for races. So, run crews, come out, support your people and all the rest of it, run them in by all means, but just be careful with not kind of stepping over those boundaries.
Yep. Great.
You want to talk about the
The alligator. So the alligator has become a mascot for our Georgina Spring Fling and Georgina Marathon in the fall. And why, you might ask? Well, when Sandy and I first went up there and we were looking at a race course, someone along the course, about 6K out, I believe, they've got a boathouse on the lakeside of the road that has a sign on it that says alligator crossing.
and a big plastic alligator on the roof.
With a big plastic alligator. So that's where the alligator comes from. He's going to be out there on the course somewhere, maybe not right there, but he'll be cheering you on and he'll be telling jokes. And I think he's also functioning as a course marshal. So he's also volunteering at this race as a course marshal. So make sure you give him a high five and again, let that stuff all add to the enjoyment of your day and add to your motivation and your positive experience at the event.
For sure. And then once again, thank you to all of our volunteers. Volunteering is critical for any event, but giving back to the race community and just making these things possible, because we certainly can't do it all ourselves. We've tried and it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Please thank the volunteers who have come out. If you have extra bodies who are coming out to watch you run and they want to get involved, we can always use more volunteers. That's great. And we invite you to plan ahead for next year. So we will be opening the registration for the Spring Fling shortly after this race. We do have a date for Sunday, May 3rd for next year, for the 2026. And you'll see in your race guide the list of the other races that we're doing this year. We have the new Kawartha Sun Run, which is a half marathon, 10 and 5 in Fenland Falls in the Kawarthas, June 22nd. We have the Georgina Fall Marathon, which is the same race, bigger and better, for your last opportunity for a Boston qualifier, we hope, on September 7th. And then we have the Nutrients Oakville 21.1 half marathon, 10 and 5 on Sunday, October 5th.
Great. So thank you guys again. If you have any questions, if we missed going over anything, please do email us, georginamarathon@gmail.com. But only email us if you know it's not in the athlete guide or listed on the website, because as we said earlier, there's a gazillion emails a day at this point. So again, email us if you need to. Have a little bit of patience as far as when we get back to you, but we will. So we look forward to seeing you all next weekend, Sunday, May 4th, at De La Salle Park to run the Georgina Spring Fling, the 4th annual version.
Yeah, and at Race Kit before then. Race Kit pick one of those.
Yep. All right. Have a great day and happy taper.